welcome to my channel. Well, yesterday, this is one of those things that only happens to content creators and everything. I had received another case knife from Toby and family, and I was doing an unboxing, so I did the video and I had all my case knives out here. And the system memory was low on my phone. And so I made the video, and it was a long one. It was like 20 minutes, So I went over the knife, I compared it to other knives, and everything else. Then I went to compile the video, which makes the video, the original video size just a little bit bigger. Changes it to a format that you can upload to YouTube. And because my system memory was low, each time I went to upload this video file, it would take over 2 hours. 2 hours. I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't have a direct connection. All this is done over a cell phone. So, and I can't touch the phone. I can't look at YouTube. I can't do anything else, because system memory was at, like 99 point something % capacity. And so that bogged everything down. Anyways, it would get up to about like it was almost done, it had like about 30-40 minutes left, and then it would freeze and it would just stay there. And so I would go into the video and delete it and, all that other crap and do it again. And finally, in an effort to delete files and make up room, I wound up accidentally deleting the original file I was trying to upload. So I took a break. So, with all that long stuff through there, if anybody can notice the new knife, it's a natural bone toasted color wash mini trapper 6207 WSS. It's this guy. Now, the reason why I was doing an unboxing was to say I haven't cleaned the knife, I haven't, fixed the knife or anything. I just looked at it. And so far, my batting average on case knives has been 100% in my estimation. Now, this particular knife, I think, cost around $80, but you can get them anywhere from like $60 on up. Not this particular one. I haven't seen these in a whole lot of places. I think he got it from Sooner City Knives or something like that. I don't have the receipt over here. But I just love the way they did this burnt bone. It even looks like it's been charcoaled, like you would see it in a campfire. They just do an excellent job of the covers on these things. But from looking at it, there's no problem with fit and finish to me. Now, from holding it up and looking at light and everything, you can see a little bit of light shining through. There's a little bit of gap down here on this cover. And only by looking at it through daylight, you can't even feel it or see it here. There's another little gap down here for people that are worried about that. I'm not. All right, so it's a mini trapper. So it's not as big as a regular trapper size. And its closed length is about 3 3/4 or 95 millimoids. See if it's 95, yes. Now, it has 2 blades. No match strike on it. The first one is a nice little clip blade here. Look at all them fingerprints. We have a 1-dot tang stamp. So if you look on the box here, its born date was January 2nd, 2019. So For those of you that don't know, I'm just learning this and everything, but Case usually every 10 years changes its font here, or the way it does its main tank stamp, and they start off with 10 dots, and then they take one off for every year. So 2019 would be 1 dot, and 2020 they would change to something else and put 10 dots up there. And some people collect based on the number of dots. You know, they collect knives just based on the number of dots. There's all kinds. Nice half stop. Pull is not really heavy on this one, about a 4. And it, when I first got it, it was kind of gritty, and I haven't put any oil on it or anything else, but I think it just needs a little bit of oil in here. These case knives come very well polished and usually pretty clean. You know, usually all you have to do, if anything, is add a little bit of oil to the pivot. All right, so let's look at this blade again. I keep forgetting I've done this, but I haven't really done it yet. 2 1/4 inch cutting edge and 2 3/4 inch all the way to the end on the tang. And the next one is a nice little Warncliffe. That's what the W stood for in that. So you see we got a nice straight pointy. Another 2 1/4 or 2 3/4 overall. Nice half stop on it. That's nice. Now some people, they don't like to do that last part. You know, that, to me, this is part of the walk and talk. Now, if the knife can't handle it, you know, like if it gets a ding, I would look for the raised part, usually which is a pin right here. And I go up like this. And to me, this is part of the walk and talk, is this last part. If you can't do that, you're kind of missing out on that. But then, I do this on rough riders. I never had a problem with case on this. I check right where that pin would be. I match it up with that on the knife. And then you look at the edge. You're looking for a ding, you know, right around there. And you would see like a little scallop. It depends on how hard it's hitting. Now, if you run into that issue, you have to either sharpen the knife all the way back to where it's not hitting anymore, or grind that down. That's what I usually try to do. I try to get something. It's not easy to get in there and not scratch those liners, but you can take like a popsicle stick and shave it down and put some sandpaper on it and go. It's tedious, but it's better than filing this thing all the way down. All right, now case knives usually have a working edge on them. All right, so don't expect it. I usually don't expect them. You can see it's got some rough parts there. I don't expect it to be shaving sharp when it comes out, but they do a pretty good job on consistency, maintaining that bevel, or at least they seem to. And over here you can see they laid that edge back just a little bit more, but it's fairly consistent. So what I'm saying is, these clean up fairly easily. You can either strap them up or just take a crock stick to them. You don't have to reprofile them like crazy. But again, I can tell you right now that this thing's not gonna. It's got a working edge on it. Basically, this thing will sit here and cut like this for quite a while before you have to sharpen it up. But yeah, just look at that. That is. I like the way they did the K symbol in there and the double X. Everything about this looks really cool, I think. I think it's a nice looking knife. Like I said, it's just minor gapping. You really have to look for this, you know? And I can understand, you know, if you get something messed up on a Rough Rider knife, it's $15. You get something messed up on this, it's $80. So you're expecting, you know, you expect them to do a little bit more, but they really polished the bolsters. This was pinched on this end. I'll put the weights on the end. Like I said, I've already done this. So there it is. Let's zoom back out and compare it to some other case knives. So it's about the size of a canoe in physical size. a regular sized canoe. This is not a mini canoe. This is the slim single-bladed trapper. Zippo case, same thing. So it's the slim line is thinner, of course. This is a mini copper lock. Mini copper lock is about the same size, but a little bit thinner. And of course, you know, they get bigger as you get to, like, this is another slim line. This is a slim line trapper, so it's going to be longer and slimmer. Not by much, but a lot slimmer. So yes, it's a very cool knife. Thank you, Toby and family, once again for... This is a peanut compared to it. So a peanut, of course, is smaller. And then you've got your rust. I was looking at this rust lock and comparing it, like, man, this is pretty close. But I like the way they did this one. I mean, they're both cool. This one's got more of the kind of amber to it. So, yeah, a very nice knife. Very useful size. Like I said, I've only had it a couple of days. Blade centering, for those of you that are worried about it, this thing's pretty much dead on. One thing to remember when you're doing this is a lot of times, if you're not just pulling straight up like this, a lot of times you're pushing over. And you can see these blades are not rubbing when it's just sitting still like this. And it's not rubbing when it comes open. So sometimes what I'm saying on blade rub, what I watch for is, like, if you're sitting here like this and you go like this and tink, it starts hitting this side, you know, starts hitting the liner, which I haven't had it happen. Like I said, I've had very good luck with case knives so far, and these are being bought, you know, online. I'm sure when Toby orders them, they don't know who he is, and they sure don't know it's going to me, and so this is not anything hand-picked or special. And not to discount that people have issues with some knives and stuff. So my thought would be, or my suggestion would be, if you can't get them in person, and you're try to order from, like, reputable dealers and stuff like that, and usually they have a note section in your order where you can say, okay, if your pet peeve is centering, you know, you don't care if the case, you know, the side cover is cracked and anything else like that, but you're really concerned about centering, leave a note in there and say, please check for centering, you know, on the knife, or, you know, whatever the thing that bothers you the most. I've never heard of it, but I would be more worried about blade wrap, you know, like, do the knife like this and let it drop. Does it get a ding in there? You know, if it does, y'all can keep that knife. You know, give me one that doesn't do that. Don't even bother sending it to me, because it's a pain in the butt to fix that. Like I said, it hasn't happened to me at all with any case knives, but it has happened with Rough Riders. But like I said, you know, they're $15 knives, so you can't expect a $15 knife to perform, but they usually do. They usually perform pretty damn well. But yeah, they would hit like here. You know, like I said, you find out wherever that pin is that's raised up, and if they didn't grind that spring down a little bit enough, or they didn't have the kick high enough, then bam, when you do that, you put a dent in your knife. And to me, that's my biggest pet peeve of knives. But anyways, like I said, it hasn't happened. So there you go. There's, I think, all of my case knives so far. Some of them may be hiding. Sometimes they do that, or I forget about them. Like, a lot of times I have this one right in a little slip right by me. It's a little case canoe with the you know, he's out paddling. He's about to go get some beaver pelt. And this one, because I like this blade etch so much, I just have a natural tendency to want to carry this knife but not use that blade that much. I tend to use this one just because I like that etch, even though, you know, it's got scratch on it and everything else already. I'm not keeping it pristine. But yeah, it tends to make me want to preserve it, and that's kind of like getting away from what I like to use my knives too, not just look at them. Anyways, sorry for rambling on too long. So there you go. I like this pattern here and this color and the size. I like all sizes of knives, but this one's pretty cool. So thank you for watching and have a nice day. And hopefully this one will upload. If you see this video, then I was successful and got the video uploaded. So thank you for watching and have a nice day. Didn't you already say that? I forgot to do a paper cut. So even though I know it's not going to cut super well, let's get an idea. Yeah, see, it's toothy. You hear that? But it'll cut. You see, the paper's cut. That's pretty easy to fix up. Alright, because this is, for some reason, I got trapped in my own little test here. Now, whenever you're going to do a forward stab with a slip joint, you're going to have to hold like this, and you don't want to stab too hard. You can even put it like this, but you're not controlling the blade as much. I put my finger right here. That way if it goes to fold, it's going to push on that finger before it cuts the other ones off. I'll only lose one finger. Alright, let's get back here. Oh man, stopped it like a brick. Man, when it hit, I remember this is reinforced hobo armor. This is not your... Yeah, it doesn't go in far at all. It doesn't even penetrate. Now, that time the blade went like this, I could feel it, but that's the most. You just got to be very careful when doing stabbing with a non-locking blade. So there you go. There's another little scientific, 100% accurate and scientific test.